Hello, and welcome back to the Weekly Cup series. I'm Eric Banghart, Manager of Global Sales here at Inovonics. Here's hoping your summer is off to a healthy and happy start and that you are well rested after your week break from the Weekly Cup. Today we'll be joined by Weekly Cup veterans and our product management dynamic duo of Michael and Scott Fincher. They'll tackle a topic that is top of mind in the realities of the new world: return to work and school strategies in response to COVID. This team will share some strategies around utilizing wireless to help you address the evolving societal concerns and needs of your customers as we all adjust to the ever-changing environment of today's workplaces and schools. Stay tuned as we give some food for thought for new age return to work solutions for your customers. Let's keep it interactive with lots of comments and questions, and thanks in advance for responding to our poll questions. With that, fellas, the screen and the world is now in your hands. Take it away.
Great, thanks, Eric. Return to work and school. These are new phrases to enter the lexicon and particularly relevant for the security industry. Employers, businesses, healthcare facilities, campuses, they're all wrestling with how to bring people back to work and school quickly and safely to help fuel the economic recovery. With that in mind, as Eric said, we'll talk about things you can do right now to help get the country back on its feet. Now is a great time to talk to all your customers about their return to work and school plans for not only new jobs, but existing installs. And first we're gonna have, Nikki's gonna publish out one quick poll, and then we'll have a couple more at the end of the presentation. So if you could populate that poll question, Nikki.
Sure, no problem. All right. Oops, sorry, let me go ahead and, okay, there we go. So first poll question today is, are you talking about return to work strategies with your customers right now? So if you can go ahead and give us your feedback, I'll go ahead and keep this poll open for just a moment. I see them coming in. All right, we've got about 52% have voted. Okay, great. I'll go ahead and close this for now. And here are our results. Can you see that okay, Scott?
Yeah, and that makes sense. So it looks like, you know, two-thirds of you, 75% of you are talking to folks right now about this, and maybe the other 25% are looking to learn. So hopefully we give you some good information as you have those conversations. All right, so if you could hide that, Nikki, great. Thinking about return to work and school from the standpoint of wireless, the opportunity is to augment your existing infrastructure and integrations to get people back to work. This applies to perimeter security, access points for all commercial properties, access by employees, students, and visitors, as well as the general public. Because of the install ease and the ability to integrate into any on-premise or cloud-based system, whether temporary, permanent, or portable, Inovonics can help you get the additional monitoring in place quickly. The faster the install, the less risk to the installers, and the faster people can safely access the site. Now let's talk about some specific examples. Queuing. For many properties, this is now an operational necessity. The problem is that it's also a recipe for increased anxiety. Frustrations, temperatures will flare, people will be gathering, trying to maintain distance, often exposed to the elements. Something we heard about today on the news is now the issue is a facility has a mask requirement, but somebody refuses to wear a mask. Well, what do you do in those situations? Plus, your customers are going to no doubt be short-staffed. One solution is to use Inovonics pendants. Carried by on-site personnel on their person, it's a quick and familiar way to call for help if a situation escalates. Some other ways to use our body-worn pendants. School drop-off and pickup loops, already a source of anxiety on the best of days. Now there's new procedures for everyone to get used to. Another area is businesses, restaurants, for example, offices expanding into outside areas outside of their physical space. Strategic use of pendants here can also provide a quick and easy way to expand security coverage to include these additional outdoor areas. Next, let's talk about airflow. Fresh air is crucial to reducing the opportunity for airborne transition and to limit bioexposure. The challenge is that today's energy efficient construction is specifically designed to control the indoor environment, creating a tight building envelope and actually recirculating rather than introducing fresh air. Couple that with high occupancy density and you've got a great environment for COVID to spread. One approach includes introducing fresh air by simply opening a window. But you have to properly select it to make sure the occupants are not in harm's way. Once done though, a simple contact closure can alarm if that window gets shut. Similarly, door propping. In certain instances, our office, for example, door propping can be tolerated for the sake of convenience, but now this convenience is a health issue because your customers have a heightened need to strictly control all entry and exit points for required screening and to track occupancy levels. Plus, for contact tracing, they need a record of who was or wasn't present at any given point in time. Now, any previously unmonitored doors really have to be monitored too. Once again, a contact closure placed on all these secondary exits will alarm if that door gets propped, and your folks can respond accordingly, or your customers' folks can respond accordingly. Now let's consider sanitation. Typically, sheets are used to note when a specific area was last cleaned. With more frequent cleaning, as well as more rigorous sanitation required, these logs can become untenable. Your customers may want something touchless and automated to minimize the demands on staff. Plus, they may need an audit trail in the event of an exposure. Here, fixed pendants can be deployed with the option for multiple condition pendants to alert the head end if an area is clean, dirty, or maybe it requires special attention. Now let's talk about occupancy limits. Businesses that are open to the public, like supermarkets, restaurants, retail, they all are able to open, but some of them have very strict occupancy limits to do so. Just the other day at a local Trader Joe's here in town, there was an employee dedicated to managing occupancy, only letting people in when enough had exited. The opportunity then is to automate this. A solution that doesn't put extra demands on staff, is touchless, unobtrusive, and can provide an audit trail. There are a number of methods available using Inovonics devices, such as our pulse counting transmitters, to deploy a solution for this problem. Counting transmitters, maybe with a beam, for example. But the best solution for you all is to contact your account manager and determine the right approach for your specific needs. Last, we'll talk about remote door activation. With apologies to fans of The Office, but this was a perfect picture of Pam when you think about how cautious a receptionist has to be right now. Assuming a visitor passes all the site screening protocols, someone still has to open that door, but just for that specific visitor. And to keep everyone safe, it needs to be touchless while letting them maintain distance. One solution is to wirelessly release the door through the use of a fixed pendant. Here too, there are several deployment options, so contact your account manager to determine the best approach that's right for you. These are just some of the examples, but there's certainly more. I'll now turn it over to Michael, who will cover deployment options and the broader capabilities before we open it up to any questions. It's all yours, Michael.
Thank you, Scott. Integrators continue to deploy Inovonics wireless product because our solutions provide flexibility when connecting to head-end system. The flexibility comes through direct panel interface receivers such as Honeywell, Bosch, or ICT panels. We also have a universal add-on receivers that provide Form C relay output to connect to any panel's input zones. Lastly, we also have a backnet receiver that is compatible with our environmental sensors. Our solutions can be on-premise or cloud-connected solution through the head-end systems. When looking at other applications, one thing to remember is that as long as the third-party sensors provide a contact closure, we can connect our universal transmitter to convert it into a wireless solutions. We also have various partners that integrate our hardware into their sensors, making it a wireless off-the-shelf solutions. Some of the examples are Optex, Flare, and Page. We also have a complete list of partners and their solution on our websites. So please contact us for additional information about that. Also, there's going to be a huge emphasis on environmental controls going forward. Inovonics has the ability to monitor trouble alarms for HVAC equipment like air handlers, cooling towers, chillers, and boilers wirelessly and convert them to BACnet receivers. Our transmitter could also be deployed to create redundancy for these systems. Contact your RSM to find out more about our BACnet solutions.
All right.
Please join us on the next Weekly Cup series, where Eric and Richard from Optex will be covering design and installation best practices for Optex I-Series photo beams that has Inovonics wireless radios. And with that, I'll turn it over to Nikki.
Great, thanks, Michael. I went ahead and in the chat and I shared a link to next week's Inovonics Weekly Cup that you can register there if you are interested. And before we actually jump into some of these questions, we do have a handful here. I did want to go ahead and run a couple last polls. So if you don't mind, we'd really like your feedback. The next poll question, let me go ahead and launch it here. Are job requests increasing? We wanted to get a sense of what you guys were feeling right now. Are you seeing more jobs increasing now? Okay, they're coming in here. I'm going to give it one more moment. All right, great. It looks like about half of you have shared your response. Wow, it's pretty split actually. Let me share the results with everybody. It's about 50-50. Wow, okay, so then let me go ahead and share our last poll question, if you don't mind giving us some feedback. Are you seeing people allowed to actually go inside, or are you still restricted, no entry? All right. Okay, great guys. I think that it's slowed down enough here. Wow. All right, let me share this with everybody. So it looks like entry is allowed, 92%. Wow, okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing your feedback. That kind of helps us gauge a few things over here. And we'll just jump right into questions from there. So first question, what panels does your hardware work with?
Our panels can be connected to Honeywell Vista series panels, as well as Bosch and Chubb Edwards ICT and Johnson Control, which is a basically private label version of the Vista panels, Sonitros, and we have more listed on our product guide, and that will be available to all the attendees as well.
Okay, great. I can definitely include that in our follow-up email today. All right, next question. Let's see. Can your hardware be used outdoors?
I'll take that question, Scott. Yes, it could be used outdoor as long as you use a NEMA rated enclosure with our transmitter inside.
Okay, great. Next question. What if I want to integrate data from your transmitters directly into my application and not through a panel?
Yeah, I'll take that one. Yeah, there are a few different options there. If you have an on-premise system, you can just use our serial receiver, the AN4000, and then we have a developer guide associated with that that lets you decode the message directly into your application. Also, as Michael mentioned, there's BACnet integrations with our IP gateway and EN4080 with the BACnet license on it. You can send data directly into a BACnet system. And then also that same gateway can be configured to send data directly into a cloud-based application using what's called the MQTT protocol. If you're interested in any of that stuff specifically, contact your account manager and they can absolutely get you down the right path.
Okay, great. Well, that looks like all of our questions for today. So I'm going to go ahead and just hand it back over to Eric to announce our winners this week.
All right. Thank you, Michael and Scott. Great information and guidance around tackling some of the unique challenges and realities of the COVID world. Here are the coffee card winners for signing up or joining today's presentation. Phil Barnitz at Total Security Systems, Joe Conti at Secure Alert, and Julian Foster at Chubb. Congrats to all. So don't forget to check in with your favorite Inovonics territory rep on how to use wireless to save the world. Okay, maybe that was a bit much, but we're here to help you provide solutions to new world problems your customers are facing daily. Stay cool and safe on these hot summer days, and we'll see you next week on the Daily Cup. Cheers.